Tom, thank you very much. I know I see all these checks walking around here. I know somebody is happy with the checks, at least, to hold them up there. But Tom, thank you very much. Ohio Statehood Day. It's always good to get everybody together. If my wife Fran was here, she would tell you that when we got married, she thought I was going to be a history teacher in high school, and we got married between our second and third year at Miami University, and that's what I thought I was going to do. It didn't work out so well, but Tom, maybe there's still time at some point. We hope not too soon, but it might be time. One of the things that Fran and I have really enjoyed doing throughout our life, and we have traveled a lot around Ohio, but many times we take our kids. Used to take our kids. Now we're taking more of our grandkids than kids. But we have so many amazing historical sites, and we have so many amazing local volunteers who make those sites actually work. And so I just want to pay tribute to all of them. Fran and I run into them all the time as we go to a site, and we just appreciate what they do each and every day. We are excited. Some of our sites, most of our sites, the History Connection is running, sometimes with local help, certainly as well. And also the Ohio Department of Natural Resources has some historic sites as well. And one of the things that I'm really excited about is we now have an opportunity to tell the story of the Native Americans and to do it in more publicly and do it in conjunction with the History Connection, but in conjunction with also the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. And what I'm talking about is a piece of land that we have made an initial purchase of, and we hope to purchase some more of it. Old Town, one of the old towns, one of the old Chillicothe's, but the home of the Shawnee Indians, and that is in Old Town, which is between Xenia and Yellow Springs. And I just saw the pictures. Director Mertz sent me pictures a couple of days ago of the old Tecumseh Motel coming down. We were happy to see that happen. And so anyway, it's going to be an opportunity, a very small state park, but an opportunity for us in the future to really do a better job, a more complete job of explaining the history of the Native Americans. We focused a lot, at least initially, on the Shawnee Indians and on Tecumseh, but it's a very fascinating story. That time in history, the late 1700s, that's where the Shawnees were. It was a tribe which, as I learned more about, moved around quite a bit. We have a number of old Chillicothe's around the state, but this is one of the old Chillicothe's, and it happens to occur when they were there. It's the intersection of settlers coming and the intersection of the Native Americans with the Shawnees in this particular clay. So Daniel Boone was held captive there, escaped from there, and just a great stories. And so we hope in the next couple of years to be able to tell that story very well. And that will just be one of the many places that people will be able to take their kids and take their grandkids. My job today is not to talk about that. My job today is to talk about how we're going to commemorate 250 years of American independence on July 4th, 2026. And you've already, I know, talked about that. For simplicity, I'm going to refer to it as America 250. The state legislature, I know we have some legislators who are here. The framework for a new commission was created by the General Assembly. And today, we will be announcing the members of the General Assembly. And I would just say that I won't go through the names today. You'll certainly recognize some of the names. These are all people who have a real passion about history, real passion about Ohio history, and are real community leaders. And so I've given them the task of developing this. They'll have actually their first meeting, which is going to occur shortly in the cabinet room, the governor's cabinet cabinet room here in the State House. They will be putting together recommendations for the commemoration and how we are going to observe in Ohio that anniversary. But we know that it's not going to be just one day. We want to kind of spread this out a little bit and really use this as an opportunity to talk about Ohio's role in the development of this great country. Not just one day, it will really be a broad recognition of the impact that Ohioans have had on our nation's past, present, and future. One of the things that we're going to ask, and we're going to be asking the commission to do, is to really reach out to local communities. Every community has a story. Every community has a history. And there are people in every community who want to tell that story and who know that story. So one of the challenges I'm going to make to the commission is that they, spend the next several years, few years, in part at least, reaching out to our local communities. I have asked two very knowledgeable Ohioans to head this commission, and let me just introduce them. First is Doug Price, who has a real passion and understanding of history. The other is former Columbus Mayor Michael Coleman, and I've asked them to serve as co-chairs of the commission, and I'm going to ask them now to come forward and kind of kick this thing off a little bit and talk a little bit about it. And again, thank you all for allowing me to be here today. I know it looks like you've had a good morning, good day. Thank you for what you do to preserve history. Thank you for what you do to tell the story of Ohio. Doug, Mayor, come on up. Thanks for doing this, man. Mayor, thanks for doing it. We appreciate it. All you.
Thank you, Governor DeWine. It is indeed an honor to be asked by the governor to co-chair our commission in an exciting time of opportunity. On one side, I'm the son and grandson of immigrants, and on the other side, a direct descendant of a signer of the Declaration of Independence. So this is a special honor and treat. I come to it with excitement and enthusiasm. I don't think it can be said any better. The governor's laid out a vision. John has given us a broad picture of what's going on across the country and in other states. And Wendy did a wonderful job of talking about and reminding all of us of the depth of resources that we have here in the state of Ohio. We'll keep a close eye on what America 250 is doing, and we'll learn from it. But of course, we expect Ohio will pave its own path, unique to our state. Our own rich history here is perhaps a little bit less about 1776, though we do have some direct and important revolutionary sites, but also the spirit of 76, as it has been said, striving for a more perfect union. I'd like to mention the members of the commission. There are a few yet to be named, but most of them have been named. Some of them are with us today. Perhaps we can hold our applause. Chief Justice Maureen O'Connor, who I know is here with us, former Governor Ted Strickland, OBM Director Kim Mirnix, State Senator George Lang, State Senator Herschel Craig, State Representative Adam Holmes, State Representative Joe Miller, Matt McLaren, the Ohio Tourism Chief, Ginger Warner, our distinguished friend from Cincinnati and Chair of the Ohio Arts Council, Debbie Lieberman, President of the County Commissioners Association, Vince Kieran, the very able Clerk of the Ohio Senate, Tom Chema, who you heard from before, President of the History Connection Board, Dr. Hassan Kwame Jeffries at the Ohio State University, Melinda Huntley, Executive Director of the Ohio Travel Association, Wendy Zuckel, who we heard from so ably earlier, Elizabeth Pierce, Executive Director of the Cincinnati Museum Center, Kelly Falcone Hall, Executive Director of the Western Reserve Historical Society, Bert Logan, who we heard from and love, Ohio History Connection CEO, Dr. John Fleming, Mackenzie Whitmer from Dayton, Amanda Wright Lane from Dayton. And I just want to say, too, before I turn it over to the co-chair, it's been said a few times today that Ohio boasts the third highest number of structures on the National Register of Historic Places. I know the governor lives in one. I live in one too, and everybody here is invited to dinner. Mayor?
Thank you. Doug and Governor, thank you so much for reaching out to me to ask me to serve as co-chair with Doug, who is going to not just invite us all to dinner, but also cook it that evening. Right? All right. So this is a great time for our country and our city and our state to look forward to the next few years to celebrate 250, our 250th anniversary. Our state has 76 National Historic Landmarks, 4,200 properties listed on the National Register of Historic Places, 1,700 Ohio historical markers, 50 historic sites and museums that are part of the Ohio History Connection. We have, in the state of Ohio, some of the best museums, some of the best symphonies, orchestras, opera houses, ballet companies, historic county courthouses, and the list goes on and on and on of the places that have come up that we can celebrate over that period of time. Together united, our charge is this: to plan, encourage, develop, and coordinate the commemoration of the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States and the impact of Ohioans on our nation's past, present, and future. So when the governor called me and asked me to serve, I had to think about it and say, what is this all about? 250 years. And I called back and I said to myself, with all the faults, the challenges, and the pains and problems of our nation, we are an imperfect union trying to become perfect. And that we are the best nation in the world. In spite of all that, I could be nowhere else but right here in Ohio, right here in our country, and celebrate 250 years. And Ohio has made so many significant contributions. And in this time of division, oftentimes we see in our nation, and disunity, we often see in our nation today, we have one common thing: our nation. So let's celebrate it. 250 years. You know, we've all come to America, sometimes in different boats. But guess what? We're all in the same boat now. And that's called the United States of America. Tom referred to what's going on in our globe, Ukrainians. And I am so inspired by their patriotism, standing up for their nation against aggression. And that's how our nation was founded, that same way. And we need to celebrate it. So I'm so proud and glad to serve with Doug, my good friend, in a way to show unity is important for all of us. Coming together is important for all of us. And that is what we should celebrate come 2026. God bless you, and thank you, Governor, once again. Madam Chief, thank you very much.